Product managers are multiplicative, right? We are empowering our teammates to deliver more and more value over time. If your product manager is fragile, if they crumble under the slightest failure, they might wind up poisoning the entire company, right? A couple of things that I've seen happen with my own eyes. When there's a fragile product manager in place, they start blaming other people. And this blame game makes people very unwilling to work with the product manager. People start pointing fingers and stop working on how to fix the problem. And that can very quickly destroy a company's culture. Another thing that is really bad is a fragile product manager will typically deny that they failed in the first place. And if you deny that you're failing, you don't take the opportunity to learn from that failure. Product managers are expected to drive learnings across the organization every time there's a failure. And so if you don't do that, then you aren't actually serving as a product manager. Fragile product managers will sometimes commit fraud. They will make up numbers to make themselves look good, even though they had very clearly actually failed. And so that fraud might be very subtle. Product managers might happen to define metrics differently or cherry pick A/B tests that make their products look good rather than telling the whole truth to the company. And so, as you can very easily see, a fragile product manager can very much destroy a company because they get people to fight each other in terms of pointing fingers and having blame games. They stop learning and they prevent other people from learning from mistakes. And they might commit fraud, they might make up numbers, and that means that the company is no longer making real improvements. Rather, it's now lying to its investors and to its customers. And so that is why companies are very scared of hiring fragile product managers. And it's essential that you yourself are not a fragile product manager in the first place. And so before we continue, one of the things I'm going to ask you to do is to leave your ego at the door when you're working through the interview process, because you're going to be asked about a failure. And if you're not willing to talk about your real failure and to be honest and transparent to the interviewer, then you shouldn't proceed. Product management may not be the job for you. You need to be raw and honest and authentic in terms of identifying the things that went wrong so that way you can improve them, so that way the company is improving over time. So now I've talked about fragility and why it's so bad to hire fragile product managers. So if we know what companies aren't looking for, well, what are they looking for? What they're looking for is a capability called anti-fragility. What is that?